Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking about the 1980p Susan B. Anthony dollar. Now we're going to be going over the values, the history and context and backstory on this coin, as well as discussing sort of the higher end of when it's worth grading, and the mint errors that you might be able to find. There are not any varieties for this date, but there are some on the general Susan B. Anthony's, which were struck from 1979 through 1981, and then again in 1999, but the coins are made out of copper and nickel, so the same sort of material that you might find on a quarter. And that was actually one of the problems with these coins. They initially were made because they wanted to have smaller coins that had high value that could be used in things like vending machines, arcade machines, and other coin-operated machines that would require some small payment. The clad Eisenhower dollars that had been in place since 1971 were just far larger. They were sort of the traditional larger silver dollar size, though they weren't silver. And this coin would be easier because while it would cost a little bit more than a bill to print, they should be able to be in circulation for about 15 years or so, which was about 10 times longer than a paper currency, which was maybe 1.5 year lifespan. They struck a ton of them in 1979. By the time we get to 1980, they're striking a lot less, and I'll get into that. And they continue to diminish. And then as they do another round of small dollar coins in 2000, they strike a few more in 1999. Now, the coins are generally have nice production and feature Susan B. Anthony, the first U.S. citizen woman on the coins. They featured Queen Isabella II of Spain in 1893, but this was the first woman. She was an abolitionist and also fought for the women's right to vote and was successful in helping pass the 19th Amendment to do just that in 1920. So for this specific date and mint mark, we've got the history. It's pretty available up to mint state 65, so those coins are pretty readily available. You might have to do some cherry picking, looking for where sort of in the high points in the hair as well as the cheek. And there's not a ton of mint state 67 coins. There's probably under 500, population 132, and then above 67, whether it's 67 plus or 68, is quite valuable. But there's not a huge amount of interest in this series. It's certainly worth certifying if you have it in 67. Here are some of the pricing, and again, that mintage of 27.61 million. That's over 10% or like 10 times down from the previous year, where there were about 360 million made from the Philadelphia Mint, which you can see right here next to the left part of her shoulder. The coin, it's not worth anything more than $1 in most conditions, and mint state 65, that's really for certified versions. If it's raw, maybe it's like a $2 coin or so. Now, here are some more valuable versions that you might want to be aware of. So this one sold for about $50. It's a filled die. Basically, some grease got in the die as it was striking, which leads to weakness of the strike. And it looks like it's been worn, but it has not. It's just that the grease was either on the planchet or the die, and prevented the impression of the lettering. Often it sort of starts out on the side of the coin and creeps its way in. It happened on both sides of this die. For this one, this is a $6,900 error, and you can tell the coin has been sort of cut down. Well, that's because it was struck on a 5-cent or nickel planchet. So it's pretty clear, that's a smaller planchet. These coins are larger than a quarter. Nickels are smaller than a quarter. So, if you've got something like this, definitely look out. There was only that one 1980p error that I was able to find. This one was also struck off center. It could theoretically happen on any coin, any Susan B. Anthony. This one sold for $880. The production quality was pretty good, where this wouldn't often happen, but sometimes something improper, like a planchet not quite getting in between the blanks, occurs, and then this is the result. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. That pretty much concludes this one. Not anything crazy, but if you've got something in nice condition, there's some good value, or along the errors. And I hope that you enjoyed also learning about Susan B. Anthony, the history of her as a person, certainly an important one in U.S. history. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like the video, comment, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and some other social media platforms. You can also go to my main channel website, treasuretownYT.com, to learn more about the channel and sort of stay in contact. I also will eventually host all of these videos on coinsmetalscards.com, which will be both news, marketplace, and coin information. I do have the goal of eventually getting pretty much every U.S. coin, date, mint mark, denomination on the channel with a similar video to the one that you just watched, and that will likely all be hosted there. And then I also have treasuretowncoins.com, which is sort of my coin dealing wing, coin dealing only entity that is a little bit less focused on content production. So thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos. I also have videos that are not just the date, mint mark, denomination recap in this format, so you can check some of those out, and I'll have fun seeing you there.